I found a $200 toy at Goodwill today. Let's talk about it. Hello and welcome back to another one of our videos. My name is Eddie and I'm one half of Hustle and Hooks. In today's video, we're going to talk about that crazy thing, which I knew it was Star Wars, but I didn't know it was worth over $200. And you'll be a little bit surprised what they wanted for it as a toy. We're also going to talk about some things that sold today. We have 8 orders that we have to go pick, package, and ship out. I'll show you a couple of packaging tips. And I'll give you a little sneak peek into a giant lot of Nintendo and Sega Genesis games and consoles that I also picked up recently. We'll also talk about a few other thrifted items that we picked up today to resale. So let's jump right into it. So there's one viewer question that I wanted to quickly answer. It was about lighting and photography. So I want to show you our setup, which is relatively straightforward and pretty cheap. But keep in mind, this setup has sold us over $80,000. For lights, we actually have this pretty, relatively bright overhead light. We have these ultra white light bulbs in there, and also in this cheap lamp. This came at the house, and we got this lamp for free. And you can see that when we take an item, for example, this pot here, it does create shadows, but you can whiten that up with any free photography editing app, or you can just leave it alone because shadows exist. And then as far as photography, we try our best to have a white background as always, and we'll definitely update this. When we move our business into the garage, we'll update with a better area for photography, but it works and it's fine and it doesn't have to be complicated. So shadows do exist. It's not the end of the world if you have some. You just want to make sure you're taking enough photos with enough detail so that the buyer understands what they're buying and sees all the flaws in it. And you also don't really necessarily have to have anything high-tech. We use iPhone 10s with the built-in cameras, and they work just fine. I hope that answers your question. So here is this crazy thing. So I'm a Star Wars fan, right? But I still get confused of who's who and who's cousin and who's related and who Luke is and who's the father, all that. I've watched all the movies several times and I really enjoyed them. With that being said, I knew this was Star Wars when it came out, but I did not know what it was called. So I Google searched Star Wars machine. And this was one of the first things that came up, and it's an all-terrain walker, or an AT, I think is the name. Anyhow, this thing is pretty sweet and really good condition overall. It's missing one of the panels on the other side as I attempt to maneuver it. It's a large one. It's a little bit over 2 feet in height and a little bit over 2 feet this way, the width, I suppose. And it has some pretty cool features that I don't know anything about yet. So the only thing that I noticed is that it's missing this one panel. But when I did a little bit of research, there's actually replacement parts that people sell for this thing. It was made in 2010. I found that out by looking underneath here. There was a mark. And when I looked at comps for resale, I was shocked to find out that this is worth between $200 and $250 plus shipping on top. And what they wanted for it, I already took the sticker off, but I'll show it to you. $2.99 because they labeled it as just a toy. So as a reseller, this is our job, right? Our job is to find undervalued items and sell them for value. And also, we're also providing a service, which is provide in-demand items for people around the world, to shop for so that they can add it to their collection or whatever. So anyways, I have a bunch of research to do on this thing. I know there's one battery operated thing in here, which is this hook. If you pull it down, it's kind of hard to see. And then there's a button. And it guides it up. So I know that works. And I think there's some lights that I really don't know. So I still have to do some research. I do have to clean it up just a little bit, but it'll be ready for resale relatively quickly. So that's the biggest score of the day. Let me show you some other things that we found. Here are a couple of hard goods that we picked up today. So I picked up this Sony CD player. I've sold similar ones to this one. This one is worth about $50 plus shipping on top. It does have the antenna attachment, and it's in good condition, which is something you always want to look out for when you're looking at these old radios. And it's a CD cassette dual player. Actually, there's a Monthly Crew cassette, which is pretty cool in here. It did not come with the power cable, but I do have an extra one, and I'll test it out. It needs some cleaning, that's for sure. So this one's gonna, if it works, it's gonna take a little bit of time. They wanted $6 for it, so it's definitely something that we pick up, and the profit margin is definitely there for us. On the bottom here, it's a Denon DCD 910. This is a compact disc player. We've sold a lot of this vintage, 90s, mid-90s, early 2000s electronics. This model, there are currently 2 for sale, 4 of them sold. They sell between 60 and 90 plus ship, and Goodwill wanted $10 for it. So we'll check it, make sure it works, and go from there. And the nice thing about our Goodwill is that they allow us a 7-day in-store credit return policy. So for electronics that don't work, we can just simply bring them back. And Melinda scooped both of these items today when she was out thrifting. This Xbox drum kit, they wanted also just $5 for it, and it's worth between 40 and 50 plus shipping. So here are some of the shoes that we picked up today. First one is a really interesting brand. It's On Cloud is the brand. It's a Swiss brand, and these are running shoes. The neat thing about this brand is it's one of those sleeper brands that not a lot of people know about, but there's definitely a following. When you type in On Cloud Swiss shoes, there are only 90 available that are pre-owned and over 500 sold, which is just a fantastic sell-through rate. And we should be able to get about $40 plus shipping on these shoes, which is pretty awesome. There is a little bit of heel wear, which we will disclose, but in general, really good condition with plenty of life left on them. Found another pair of skating shoes. These are Emerica, and they're leather top, high top shoes. Skating shoes do really well for us. They wanted $7 for these, excellent condition, just need a little bit of cleanup. Should be able to get at least 40 shipped for those. And shoes typically they'll ship between $8 and $10. Another pair of Sorel boots with a little bit of flaws on the top. We can clean up and disclose. There's a little bit of flaking of this, fake leather material up top. But for $5, we couldn't pass it up. We should be able to get about $35 plus shipping on those. And then a pair of Patagonias that Melinda picked up. Patagonia is just, one of those brands that just has a huge following. Should be able to get about 35 plus shipping on these. And I do have some scuffing on them, but if you've seen in previous videos, Melinda has really become an expert into getting some of these leather shoes back to life for resale. I just, again, wanted to express my gratitude and Melinda's gratitude as well for John at Cincinnati Picker, and really wanted to say thank you again to him. Also wanted to say thank you for everyone that's giving us an opportunity that came over, subscribed to our channel, and has already watched some of our content. We really do appreciate you. Our mission is to add value and help others, and also just show you our journey and our growth. And we've said this many times before on Instagram, we don't want to be resellers. We're growing a business out of this. So come along for the ride, as the sky's the limit for us. And we're really excited to bring you guys along for our journey. Again, thank you. Here are the rest of the shoes, and the shoes that I just showed you. These are the other ones that we picked up today. Some more Chuck Taylor from Converse, some Nike high tops with some glitter on them. They're worth about $50 pre-owned. Some more Vans in the background. Some more Adidas, some Sperry's, and some Bournes. Those are kind of the brands that we love to find. When we're flipping shoes, we're not reselling, cheap Walmart brands. We're really trying to find the brands that are selling for about, $90 to $150 retail, where we can find, resale value between $30, $40 plus shipping. So that's kind of what we aim for. And a hilarious thing happened. We got all of these boxes today from USPS. We had placed orders for free several times, and they just never shipped them. And this actually happened to a couple of people. Harry Tornado, one of them, Josh, it happened to him as well. So they didn't ship us any for a long time, and then they shipped us everything we ordered. So we are good on shoe boxes for a year, I'd probably say. There's a lot in here. These are bundles of 25, so plenty of boxes for a long time. And if you guys didn't know, USPS.com, free account, you can get free boxes. So here's a sneak peek at a bunch of old video game stuff that I picked up this week from a friend. So there's a couple of consoles. There's a bunch of games in here. Some really rare ones, some common ones, and then a bunch of Sega Genesis consoles. Another Nintendo system. And inside of here, there are two Nintendo 64s, a Genesis, complete in the box. So sneak peek. I'm going to shoot a video specifically on all this stuff. Tell you a little bit about negotiating and pricing and what you should be paying up for it. You know, for certain items, even though they're hot sellers, you have to keep in mind it's all about the numbers. So stay tuned for that video in the near future. Toddy, what's going on? What's going on, Toddy? What do you think's gonna happen next?
Go for late night walkies.
Late night walkies?
Yep. Supper for puppy eyes.
Yeah. What's going on here, Melinda? And here. And here. Yeah. We're mostly there.
Just another day in the life. Part-time reselling. Yeah, we're gonna clean some pots, then clean some shoes.
Yeah, so while I'm over there packaging, Melinda's going to work on this stuff. There's a decent amount of these that don't need a lot of work, which is nice, but there's some pretty beat up ones that definitely need some attention. Toddy's first going to inspect them, but they're going to go for a little late night walk since it's really beautiful out, and, you know, look at those puppy eyes. Look at those puppy eyes.
People walkies.
That's right. Anyways, let me show you what's sold. So we had 8 eBay orders that are going to be shipping out, and we also had 1 Instagram sale. So we'll start with the Instagram sale. This keyboard, typically we just tell people what we buy and sell, and then, you know, obviously if you're interested in something, just let us know and we'll work out a deal. And obviously we don't pay eBay fees if you do it outside of eBay, so we can definitely just do a direct deal. So anyways, this sold for $54 shipped. We picked it up for $5. This is an excellent keyboard with an excellent sell-through rate. It's the ergonomic keyboard 4000. Most keyboards are garbage. This one is not. This one holds its value really well. We were lucky to find it inside of the packaging, and there's the original price of $60. Next up here is a pair of Converse that's sold. So we pay on average about $6 for all of our shoes. We found those at the thrift store. Those sold for $30 shipped, and they'll ship for about $8. Next up, this Farberware, here's my cheat sheet. This Farberware, this came from a Farberware percolator. The percolator sold for $60. The owner had it for a month, then returned it not working. So it didn't work, which kind of, you know, sucked. But instead of just throwing everything away, we parted out all the parts, and someone bought all these together in a lot for $20 shipped, and it'll be first class shipping for about $5. So, you know, sometimes you just gotta take the loss on returns, but you can definitely still make some money by parting stuff out, at least to, you know, to make up for the original cost of the item, which was $6. Next up, this sweater. We picked this up for $1. There's a pretty crazy video where we went up north and we thrifted, and we also ran into this huge garage sale where everything was like 10 cents or 25 cents. This is a vintage USA made sweater that sold for $37 on eBay. It'll cost about $8 to ship it in a poly mailer. This ink sold overnight. Picked it up for $3. It was open but sealed inside. It sold for $30 overnight. It'll ship first class for about $5. These tubes right here, these come from Rainbow Vacuums. These are attachments. This is 2 tubes together that sold for $30. We have about $5 into them, parting out old vacuums from Rainbow. Rainbow, definitely a great brand to look out for reselling. We have another set just like it. These prints sold. These are Disney prints. I honestly don't remember how much I paid for them. Maybe like $1 a piece or 50 cents a piece, but they're pretty neat. They're from like the early 2000s. I don't know anything about Disney. I'm pretty sure this is from Tarzan because it says Tarzan on it. Ariel, I used to watch in Germany when I lived there as a kid. That was pretty cool. So anyways, these actually sold to a viewer. And those prints are actually going out to Amy. So Amy, thank you so much for your support. It's really awesome. You're our first viewer sale, which is pretty neat. We'll get those shipped out to you tonight, and you'll get them just in a couple of days. So thank you very much for your support. So Amy, these are coming to you. Amy offered us $14 for these prints, and we gladly accepted. We'll be shipping them out to you. So again, thank you. Hashtag pots and pans is a hashtag that he started on Instagram a while ago. So every time we saw pots and pans, we always just throw that out there. This is a vintage, older style cast aluminum Dutch oven. The brand on it is Alder. Not a huge brand. There's definitely other brands that are better, but this one sold for $60 shipped. We paid $8 at an estate sale. Should be about $12 to $15 to ship it. And then last but not least, these service boots. We picked up 4 pair. We have 1 pair left. These are industrial grade steel shank boots. Really excellent condition, in original box, no odor or anything. These are like for sewer pipe workers or oil rig operators. Really, really heavy duty boots. USA made, older style, sold for $60 shipped. It'll cost about $12 to ship those out. So I'll go ahead and package this up and also show a couple of packing tips to help anyone that's new to reselling or anyone that just wants to see a couple of tips. So first packing tip is poly bags, right? You don't need to use boxes for everything. These are those 2 hoses, those metal hoses. They're made out of metal. It's really hard to damage that. So I just bubble wrap them. This right here are the parts, also made out of metal, less than £1. So that'll ship first class. And then this is the ink, also first class. So poly mailer, poly mailer, poly mailer. You don't always need to put things into boxes, especially something like this. If you don't have a super long, skinny box, it's going to take you like 10-15 minutes to make a custom box for, and it's just not worth your time. So don't be afraid. Bubble wrap, poly mailer, much easier. So the next thing I'm packing up are these service boots, and it's like, oh look, perfect box. It just fits right in, right? Good old Amazon boxes. However, the back end does not close. It does not fit. So instead of trying to create a custom box for it, all I'm going to do is take a slab of cardboard, just tape it on the back here. It's already in a box. They're just boots. It's not like they're going to get damaged. But I didn't want to send them out in the original box. So a slab of cardboard, that'll pack that one up really nice. Next up, pots and pans, right? So this is another reason why we love selling this stuff, is because it's so easy to package. So I just took the lid, inverted it, wrapped it in craft paper, put it back. I'm going to wrap it in craft paper a couple more times, and it fits perfectly into this 3 box. I'm going to pad the sides with some more craft paper, and it's good to go. It's made out of cast aluminum. It's not going to break, so it's really easy to ship. So here's that Dutch oven, wrapped up. Nice and tight in there. All I have to do now is close it up and give it the shake test. Shake test just means if it doesn't cling or make noise, it should be fine to ship. See if I can one hand shake it. There it is. No noise. Good to go. All right, so all of this has been packed up. I actually use the same method of extending the box on the bottom one for those shoes and for that keyboard. So pretty quick trick to not have to waste a bunch of time making custom boxes. While I was packing, we got a bonus. This sold. This is an old 2006, I think, or 2016. I'm not sure. Let's see. 2006 Pac-Man TV game. You just plug it into the TV. Paid $3 for it at Goodwill. It sold for $70 with free shipping. It'll be about $10 to ship it out. And then this hose attachment. This is another rainbow vacuum part, and you can see this thing is pretty beat up. It's rusted at the end. It's taped up. Obviously, I disclosed all of that, but it works, and the trigger works. I tested it with the actual motor. That hose attachment by itself sold for $50 shipped, and again, it'll be about $10 or so to ship it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those done, go through some numbers, and continue on with the evening.
So I picked this pan up a couple weeks ago, and I've just been putting it off because it was in really rough shape. But it's getting there. It's getting there.
It's pretty rough. I think you said it's worth like 40 though, once it's all nice and clean.
Yeah, I think like 40 plus ship.
Yeah.
So
sometimes you just got to put in the work, folks.
Yeah, it looks worse than it probably is.
Yeah, it was pretty nasty. Anyways, update on Melinda.
Just scrubbing away.
Hashtag amazing race. All right, everything has been packaged up. Let's go through the numbers to see what we actually made out of these 11 sales. So the gross sales amount was $455. It cost $91 to ship everything. $41 we spent on inventory that we sold. Roughly $55 in fees through eBay and PayPal, which leaves us with $268 net. We give the government $53, roughly 20% of our income as tax. That leaves us with $215. So a little bit under half, right? Which is about right. So that's going to do it for this video. We really do appreciate it. Thank you for watching. We're going to put in a couple more hours scrubbing and cleaning and organizing, and we'll catch you on the next one.